start tonight's awesome show. Thank you so much, Deepak sir, once again for joining us and helping us through this maze of stock market. So, sir, first of all, let's begin with the market scenario itself. आई थिंक एक अलग ही जोन में मार्केट जा रहा है काफी टाइम से ग्रीन पे ग्रीन कैंडल्स दिए जा रहा है दिए जा रहा है दिए जा रहा है एंड देन अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि अभी 17 800 के आसपास फिर से एक थोड़ा सा करेक्शन आएगा बट अपेरेंटली वो थ्रेशोल्ड्स भी क्रॉस होते ही जा रहे हैं और अभी भी मार्केट नहीं मान रहा है बट सो व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन द मार्केट एंड व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज हैपनिंग सर
Okay, so as everyone know that this rally which has begun is a pretty big, right? From 15,200 odd to 18,000 now. So my only input to the dilemma which everyone may be having कि कहाँ रुकेगा is कि the move is big, so it should also target a bigger target, so to say. So if we talk about, let's say you were saying 70,800, 70,700, तो वहाँ पे ऐसा कुछ है नहीं which is like a big target for market that okay the move has achieved this because एक 2000 पॉइंट का मूव है अब वो किसी रैंडम पॉइंट पे तो रुकेगा नहीं so it has something in mind which can be the minimum will be 18,100, then next bigger reference is 18,340, then next one is 18,600 which is the all time high. So जैसा मूव होता है वैसे ही उसके ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हम डिफाइन करते हैं यूजुअली कि बड़ा क्वांटम का मूव है बड़ा स्पीड वाला मूव है या फिर एक बिगर ट्रेंड डेवलप हुआ है तो बिगर ट्रेंड बिगर टारगेट्स स्मॉलर ट्रेंड स्मॉलर टारगेट्स तो उस तरीके से निफ्टी मोस्ट लाइकली इज हेडेड टुवर्ड ऑल टाइम हाई and same of course goes for bank nifty also that it is also headed toward all time high. Then as we know the sequence of events that happens in a market usually the main nifty bank nifty will be the leader, then mid cap small cap usually follows. So mid cap index maybe can scale to 32,250 odd while nifty is able to hit a new high, and similarly the small cap index is of course a laggard. It has fallen from 12,000 to nearly 8,000 and is just at 9,500 for now. So it is the laggard. So that is the order which is there like always. So it is still going on in the same way.
Right, right. Sir, another thing that I want to ask is, so Abhi, now that it was at this critical juncture, did you maybe change your trading style or any changes in risk management style that you have? So normal में जो आपका रहता है उससे and around this critical juncture, did you make any changes?
We can say that okay क्या changes हो सकते हैं. Let's say I usually add a put short to my bullish structures. So if market is at some references, let's say a bit higher at 18,300 or 18,600, so as a mark of caution, I maybe not be adding a put short to my bullish structures in option trades, just to leave out that okay a possibility that the trade may not work or there may be a bigger correction in market which can happen, which can possibly drag on the downside. So those are little bit cautious approach. Then maybe I'll start to add to short positions in the stocks which are giving top out signals. So maybe a mix of long and short trades which can compensate for a continuation, and if there is a sudden down move or a correction, then it will be there. So I mean it actually doesn't matter where the market is for a trader. It is more of a process that a guy follows, so it remains the same, so to say. Bottom के पास हैं तो we don't usually go overboard on the bearish side, so same will be the process on the upside also, that if we let's say are around the all time high which will be the target for this move, तो वहाँ पे not going overboard on the long side also will be the best thing to do, कि सारे ही बुलिश ट्रेड उस टाइम पे आपने पैक कर लिए अकाउंट में. सो दैट विल बी द अप्रोच.
तो सर इसमें कुछ आप रिस्क रिवॉर्ड रेशियो जो आपके ट्रेड्स हैं उसमें भी कुछ चेंजेस करते हो क्या? Maybe selecting only those stocks जिनका risk reward ratio काफी ज्यादा हाई हो या फिर कुछ ऐसा?
Yeah, risk reward is always in hindsight. When you take a trade, discretionary one, you always go with a view that okay, I have a bullish view on the stock, and this is my risk point. Ki, let's say I talk about, let's say, Adani Enterprise. That okay, if it falls below 3,000 rupees, then I'll be out of that stock. So that is a point where you take a call. Below it, I'll be out. So risk you will then define with the quantity that you buy, um, as per the stop loss level that you have defined, or a option structure that you will create in that stock and have a downside risk defined to start with, which can of course be lower at a later stage by rolling down or additional call selling or something like that as per the stock movement. So risk is something that you are aware about. Reward is something that is up to the market, that it may reward you and it may not reward you. So you have to be coming to the question that how the selection of the stocks will go on. So the selection of the stocks will of course be like this only, that okay, whether there is comfort to go long at that point or not, whether it is overstretched, whether first dip in the stock will clean you in the long side or not. So if that comfort is not there in any script, so for example, again Adani Enterprise, if I ask you to take a long trade on that stock, not asking you, but just to ask you hypothetically. So I doubt that 99% people will not even have that comfort to take a long trade there. So it is not mandatory to take a trade where the comfort is not there. So you can definitely wait out, because the things don't go up in one direction. It will, of course, create different risk reward levels at different moments for different people at different point in time. So case in point, if we discuss about different banking stocks which are placed as of today. So ICICI Bank is at all time high, SBI is not at all time high. SBI is trading at around its result day high, has a beautiful reference which was created at around 510. So 530, is the risk reward for SBI, that below 510 it becomes negative. For ICICI, the level for downside is way deeper. So that way, ICICI is not having that favorable risk reward compared to SBI for a long trade. सो वो सबको फिर अपना अपना देखना पड़ेगा कि किस तरीके से दैट फैक्टर इज देयर of taking a long trade, whether one is taking in cash market, whether one is taking in options. Because if one is taking an option, then he has many options to run that trade. I'll give you one example. I was short in TVS Motor in last series at level of about 825, and the stock never went below that level. And in fact, when I closed my position in that stock, the stock was about 875, and I switched my trade from a bearish one to a bullish one during the process, or during the journey of the stock from 825 to 870, realizing that okay, the stock is not bearish, how to manage or how to reduce the risk. So different point in time, different decisions were taken to adjust the trade according to how market is behaving, uh, even after you had a wrong view, or even after you had a view that went wrong in that stock.
Right, right. Absolutely, sir. Sir, another question that I have is, so for instance, last time जो अभी ये correction हमारा शुरू हुआ था, तब
Yeah.
ऐसा हुआ था कि a lot of charts which were looking great, वो suddenly उन सबके structure खराब हो गए. Nobody really, मतलब वो सब कुछ अच्छे लगते लगते सब खराब होने लग गए. At this moment also, what is happening probably is कि although Nifty का chart बहुत ज्यादा इस समय मतलब बिना रुके बिना कोई एक ब्रीदर लिए बढ़े जा रहा है, आरएसआई भी बिल्कुल एग्जॉस्ट हो गया है, बहुत ऊंचा चल रहा है. बट एट द सेम टाइम स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक अगर स्टॉक के सेक्टर्स की बात करें तो बहुत सारे स्टॉक सेक्टर्स हैं जो कि दे लुक रेडी फॉर अ वेरी गुड रन, एंड उनके स्ट्रक्चर भी बहुत अच्छे बन रहे हैं. आपके भी ऑफ कोर्स चार्ट्स आते रहते हैं जिसमें कि बहुत अच्छे अच्छे स्ट्रक्चर बनते हैं. सो इज देयर अ वे, मतलब हाउ टू टैकल विद दैट कि जो सडन स्विंग आता है और एक बड़े करेक्शन आने शुरू हो जाते हैं, और जो चार्ट्स होते हैं वो सडनली खराब हो जाते हैं सारे जो अच्छे बनते हुए होते हैं. So how can, so new investors who are still new to the markets, like how can we recognize that? How can we deal with those situations?
Okay, so what will help you is that you have a view basically on the instrument that you are trading. Let's say I have a broader view on Nifty that it is going toward all-time high, or Bank Nifty that is going toward all-time high. Then there will be a set of stocks which will be bullish, and there will be set of stocks which are showing signs of exhaustion on upside, also which are near to resistance references, or which do not, or which have not even participated in the whole rally. So you basically divide them, and one day can change the chart also, like you just suggested that okay, everything was bearish, then suddenly everything was bullish, and when the last correction also started, everything was bullish, then turned bearish. So I have this simple candle pattern, which is your you can also, I mean, maybe Google it, piercing pattern, which forms around a resistance reference, a two candle pair. One gives a breakout, the other one gives a breakdown, so to say that the price comes back into the range. So that is your failed breakout setup, which takes place at those levels. So that is that can be played in two ways. First one is, let's say we were long in a stock and it gave a failed breakout. So first thing that we need to do is we need to exit that trade, because there is a failed breakout that has happened, and it is not likely that it will pause there and not fall further. It is more likely that it will fall further. But as a first step, we should be exiting that long trade. Now, second part comes that let's say we are not in that trade, then we can initiate a short trade with those highs as stop losses. So this is the way I proceed or deal with the sudden change in movements, or the sudden change in trend of a stock which suddenly becomes bearish from bullish, or bullish from bearish at around some references.
Right, perfect, sir. So, after this podcast, if you have, maybe you have some tweet or something around it, so we would love to have a look at, have a sneak peek at that, and maybe we can share with the wider audience. I'm sure
Sure,
they would
sure.
love to.
Just a tweet today, if you can just search it on my timeline, a tweet around trend. So it was running from last couple of days, and today it has shown exhaustion on daily charts. So in that stock, if I were, you know, placed it as a long trader, so I'll be exiting below the previous day low candle. So maybe 1400 if in cash. If I'm holding in future, then maybe below today's low. So that is the point. If I don't have a long trade, I'll be looking for a short trade in print.
Hmm.
So that is the summary around what I just told you.
Great, awesome, awesome, sir. So next, what I want to discuss, what or ask is your sector-specific views, maybe. So two sectors that I specifically want to understand. One is a lot of people are talking about hotel stocks, and another sector that is kind of about to catch up is maybe IT, जो कि काफी time बाद नीचे आने के बाद it seems like it has almost made a bottom and is coming back up in the swing. So maybe we can discuss these two sectors, and then any other sectors that maybe in your view may be up for a good run from here on.
So IT has a very bad chart structure to start with. So IT may do well, but I have not participated in the IT move which came from the lows, and I'm even not looking at participating in that move, because the daily chart, the weekly chart, the monthly chart, everything is out of order in IT stocks. If you compare Nifty performance from the lows with respect to maybe Nifty IT, if you take it from the highs, uh, which were made in January, so everything, I mean, IT is out of flavor basically. What are the leadership sector now? Auto is a leadership sector. It has tailwinds also. Then A main sector that comes into mind is Nifty Auto. It was the first one to do well, and it is the one which is actually doing very, very well of late.
Right.
Then, as a theme which has come up lately, has been the stocks which are your FII favorites. So the likes of Bajaj Twins, Asian Paints. I just took today a position in Tata Consumer, so that is another one which is favorite. Then Titan is there. So these set of stocks are most likely to move and are moving toward their highs. Then another sector which has done really well in this whole move was capital goods. So the likes of ABB, Siemens, they were the first one to move out of consolidation before the market. The scenario even came out of picture that market is going toward new high. These stocks were trading at highs, and they have given a great jump also from those levels.
Right. Right. Awesome. Awesome, sir. सर हम लोगों के पास ऑडियंस से कुछ क्वेश्चंस आने शुरू हो गए हैं सो आई थिंक दे गेट प्रेसिडेंस आई लास्ट देयर क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट
Sure.
okay so sir Vishad Desai sir ka question is what is your risk percentage per trade for your capital of your capital.
Okay. Initially when I had a smaller account size, then I used to have a risk not greater than 2% of capital, and now it is not even half percent of my capital because the matrix has changed now, and I don't want to risk much, and I don't want a higher reward also at the same point. So totally is a factor of how much you want to risk with respect to your capital and how much you are okay to lose. Not. I am not okay to lose, so I have reduced my risk as a percentage of capital to under 0.5% now.
Right. Sir, I also, that's interesting that you said you have actually, so people generally say as the capital size increases, maybe they keep it constant or increase, or as you grow, you can increase. That's interesting to know. And this is something I also want to understand more specifically because this very recently what happened to me was I am still new to markets, but to FNO and all, I'm still even newer or even मतलब बिल्कुल ही new भी मैं हूँ. And I started with a few lots, like one or two lots, and then I tried my hand with increasing slightly, like 5 6 lots ke sath. And suddenly the entire psychology changed. I actually, so my view was still correct, but I panicked in my trade because I could, वो जरा सा नीचे गया और वो मेरे दिमाग में कैलकुलेशन ही पूरी खराब हो गई मेरे रिस्क की. So
Yeah, yes, I got the feeling that you are trying to say now, because it is. Let's take as a monetary example. Let's say someone is comfortable taking 20,000 risk on a trade. Suddenly, he increases the size to, let's say, 40,000 risk, or 60,000, or 80,000, or a lakh rupee risk on a trade. So it will uh, it will be comfortable only when it is hitting targets, and he will not ever be comfortable when it is hitting the stop losses suddenly. So, I have not tried to do that, but what I have tried to basically, when we want to increase size, we want to basically scale. So there are different ways to scale. One is to understand which set of or which kind of trades you take. So let's say someone is a mean reverting trader. So for him to increase his trade size, it is difficult because the opportunity um is expensive there because there are slippages on both entries and stop losses. The win part is very small in percentage terms also. But at the same time, let's say someone is trend follower, it is relatively easier for him to increase the size with lower slippage because the percentage of pie that he gets is more. But at the same time, the win rate is lower for him, then it compensates in the similar manner. What I have done to scale is I have diversified in different strategies which are in lower risk compared to what I was already doing. So the comfort never went out of losing more because the strategies that I then started to follow were having lower risk than what I was already doing, and anything that came out from those new deployment was positive. And like I just told you that okay, I used to take 2% risk, now under half percent risk. So it all adds up and starts to make more sense because the comfort level doesn't go out. Also, I uh, I started to choose strategies of different time frames. Earlier, it was more of intraday. Now it is more of intraday plus positional plus intraday in index option writing. So different time frames also. So the if suddenly there is a bad day in market in your intraday strategies, it doesn't usually reflect on your positional trades also at the same time. But let's say you are heavily bundled on different strategies of same time frame, then one side of movement of market can again have a larger impact of similar order that you don't want. That okay, you basically you don't want all the side to kick in risk for you at the same time, and then you start to panic because you may not be in the right frame of mind to handle kicks from every side. So thoda thoda strategies, thoda time frame and distribution to lower risk side of trading style is how I have scaled, and I think that is how mostly everyone scales to stay in the game for a longer period of time.
Right. Brilliant, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. So next question, Lalit Ramesh Modi sir ka hai. He wants to know what is your take on PSU banks which have not moved in the last 2 3 years.
Uh, PSU banks are doing fine, but not anything great, so to say. They are not doing bad also, but not doing great also. So I mean, SBI is at around its highs only. So it has not done bad. It has not done great. But staying at highs is also a great thing for SBI. At the same time, Bank of Baroda recently has done well. I mean, a 20% move its kitty in short term. Canara Bank also similar. But historically, if we see, then they are way off their highs. Um Things have changed for them also because they are not the same banks now. They are merged entities of different banks and different legacy issues, and I don't know what not. Best bet in PSU will always be SBI. It has the highest weight also in the index, and it is trading at high. So if you are SBI fan, then उसको तो वही चलता है, वो नीचे बाय करो ऊपर सेल करो टाइप से.
Right. Absolutely, sir. Okay. So next question हम लोगों के पास second. Right. So Bhavya sir का question है Bhavya sir का which are the 5 must-have stocks in your portfolio for the coming decades? So this is a super long-term stocks maybe which you are bullish.
Maybe a index fund will do.
Right. उसमें भी सर कुछ निफ्टी में ही या फिर और कुछ इंडेक्स फंड भी.
Yeah, index fund, I think Nifty or Bank Nifty, anything related to that fund will do. Because मेरे को भी नहीं पता decade में क्या चलेगा. I mean, they will
Right.
do the management of
बिल्कुल
stocks.
टेंशन फ्री इन्वेस्टिंग.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Next sir Sanjay sir का question है he wants your view on railways and defense as an investment theme for long term.
Uh, Long term and PSU don't go together actually. They are doing well, they are generating very great profits. HAL, BEL are the talk of town, but you never know when the government will get greedy for them. So that risk is always there. So, I mean, people are posting that okay, HCL is trading at 10 times earning or 5 times earning. So, that is for a reason, I think. And that is for this risk only that the rules of the game will be changed one day. How government has treated other PSUs, these may be treated like that only on a later stage. So, I mean, till it's
I think
working,
what happens I think what happens there is every now and then a new generation comes into the stock markets and they discover कि अच्छा ये तो बहुत कम बहुत अच्छे valuation पे मिल रहा है and then वो history repeats itself and उनको पता चलता है कि वो क्यों कम चल रहा था जैसा आप कह रहे हो.
yes, yes. So that's what I was trying to say, that there is a reason that it is trading cheap, and these risks were there, these risks are there, these risks will remain there. So if they were a private कंपनी, देन मे बी 30-40 टाइम्स 50 टाइम्स भी चला जाता उनका. बट सिंस PSU हैं और these risks are there, so these risks are real. So I mean, has happened in past, will happen in future.
Right. Right. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, sir. Okay, next, sir, Naren sir, ka question is, how is PE related to choosing a stock, and how should a beginner look into this?
So PE is, I mean, totally सब perception की बात है. As in, people will say that okay, you give a higher PE to a growth company. So I mean, till 6 months back, everything was growing in IT. PE were 30-40. Now, suddenly margins are under pressure, and the PE is seeing a compression. Earnings will go down. Like you just heard the news in Wipro just a day before. They, have not given the performance payout to their senior management, and anyone who is above team lead level, and below team lead level, they have given only 70% payout. So तो ये चीज़ें धीरे धीरे चेंज होती रहती हैं. देन डायनेमिक्स चेंज. सो घूम फिर के है कि देर इज़ नो कांस्टेंट फैक्टर कि आप ये गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड लेके चलोगे कि इतना पी ही देना है मेरे को. सो इट इज़ मोर ऑफ अ फ्रेमवर्क जो पहले चलता आया है कि हाई ग्रोथ हाई पी, लो ग्रोथ कमोडिटी साइड लो पी, कमोडिटी साइड लॉस मेकिंग देन हाई पी, और कमोडिटी साइड मेकिंग हाई प्रॉफिट देन लो पी. सो ये कुछ छोटे मोटे फ्रेमवर्क हैं जो आपको इजीली समझ आ जाएंगे व्हेन यू स्टे लॉन्गर इन मार्केट.
आप सर इतनी आसानी से उसको बोलते हो बिकॉज आई थिंक दैट कम्स फ्रॉम योर एक्सपीरियंस, दैट लर्निंग इज फ्रॉम एक्सपीरियंस. हम लोगों के लिए अभी वो नोट्स लेने वाला फील होता है कि बिल्कुल लिख लो उसको.
या आई मीन देयर इज नो हैंडबुक विच इज देयर राइट कि आपको ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट खोलने से पहले ये पढ़ के आना है. तो आई मीन इट कम्स फ्रॉम एक्सपीरियंस. द मेजर पार्ट विल ऑलवेज बी कि आपने टाइम कितना स्पेंड किया है. द मोर टाइम यू स्पेंड यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्टार्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड दीज थिंग्स. अब इसमें अगर मैं भी मेरे से आप पूछो कि क्या लिस्ट है विच वन शुड लुक एट, ये देख के आना चाहिए. द फैक्टर्स कीप ऑन चेंजिंग. जैसे अभी मैं वो पी का बता रहा था, आईटी का बताने लग गया, फिर उनकी अर्निंग्स का हो गया, फिर मेटल्स पे आ गया. तो एक पी का फ्रेमवर्क अलग अलग है, देन ग्रोथ है, फिर नहीं है, फिर मार्केट गिर गया बढ़ गया, जो गिरा था वो नहीं बढ़ा, जो बढ़ रहा है वो और बढ़ रहा है. सो एक साइकिल जैसे कैफेनो ट्रेडर के लिए होता है, व्हेन समवन इज न्यू इन मार्केट, उसके लिए होता है एक माइलस्टोन की उसने एक एक्सपायरी बिना अकाउंट उड़ाए चला ली, फिर नेक्स्ट मंथ चला लिया, नेक्स्ट मंथ चला लिया, 6 महीने चल गए, 1 साल चल गया, 2 साल चल गया. He will not be the same guy who started trading. He will learn after every month a new thing, नई मिस्टेक. बस एक चीज़ करना है, हमारे को पुरानी मिस्टेक रिपीट नहीं करनी, नया कर लो. उसमें देर इज़ अ पास, उसमें भी इतनी बड़ी मत करो कि आप भारी निकल जाओ. तो बेसिकली यू हैव टू स्टे इन मार्केट फॉर लर्निंग दीज स्टफ. एक बार आप साइकिल्स देखते हो, फिर आपको या तो आप सीख जाते हो, आदत पड़ जाती है, और जैसे भी है.
एब्सोल्युटली. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर ये किसका कोट है सर, बट किसी ने कहा भी है, शायद लाइफ के बारे में कहा था, बट अप्लाइज टू स्टॉक मार्केट्स एज वेल, जैसे आप कह रहे हो. जस्ट मेक एज मेनी मिस्टेक्स एज यू कैन इन लाइफ, बट मेक श्योर यू डोंट रिपीट देम.
या या
राइट. ऑसम. ओके सर, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन हम लोगों के पास आया है. Which for the next 3 years, which basket should one invest in? Small cap shares, mid cap shares, or maybe technology type का, या so it's again similar to my, I think कि किस तरीके से वो करें. But if you have a view on that, 3 years के investment horizon में.
करेक्ट. सो इंडेक्स इंडेक्स फंड्स को यू कैन चर्न. बेसिकली जैसे अभी एक ऑर्डर था कि पहले निफ्टी जाएगा, फिर बैंक निफ्टी जाता है, देन मिड कैप इंडेक्स जाता है, देन स्मॉल कैप जाता है. सो एक यही इस तरीके से फेज होता है इन विच वी कैन जैसे फियर का मार्केट होता है तो यू शुड बी हाइडिंग इनटू लार्ज कैप्स. देन एक कांस्टेंट मार्केट है, देन यू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट अमंग स्टार्ट टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट अमंग मिड कैप्स. देन यूफोरिक आता है, देन यू मूव टुवर्ड्स स्मॉल कैप्स. तो आप ETF से भी इस चीज़ को ट्रेड कर सकते हो. सो लेट्स से कि अभी यूफोरिया आना पेंडिंग है, सो यू कैन मे बी वेट इंक्रीज डिक्रीज कर लो. मूव फ्रॉम लेट्स से 70-30 रेशियो से स्टार्ट किया था तो 60-40 पे आ जाओ, टुवर्ड 60 टुवर्ड लार्ज कैप, 40 टुवर्ड मिड कैप. देन सिमिलरली वो 40 को यू कैन रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट 20-20 टुवर्ड मिड कैप एंड स्मॉल कैप. तो उस तरीके से इट कैन बी प्लेड ऑन द अपसाइड ऑल्सो.
Right. Great, sir. Thank you so much for answering that. Okay, next question, sir. Again, Vishal sir ka hai, what is the minimum capital required to start options trading as per your view?
So, in my view, basic capital required will be, let's say, you are able to take a delivery of a stock. अगर आपको वो उसके ऑप्शन में ट्रेड करना है तो. सो बेसिकली जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वैल्यू है एक स्टॉक का, उतना कैपिटल होना चाहिए टू ट्रेड इन दैट स्टॉक फॉर जस्ट फॉर रिस्क मैनेजमेंट पर्पजेज. ताकि फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रिलायंस. सो अगर आप उसका एटीएम ऑप्शन लेते हो 1 लॉट, तो यू आर लेट्स से आप उसको कैश में खरीद सकते हो. उतना कैपिटल होना चाहिए. लगभग 6 लाख से 8 लाख के बीच में मोस्टली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होते हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम अदानी एंटरप्राइज जो अभी 15-16 लाख का हो गया है. नॉर्मल रेंज इज 6 to 8 लाख. तो 6 to 8 लाख का कैपिटल पे आपको 1 लॉट का ऑप्शन ट्रेड करना चाहिए. सो दैट इफ इवन इफ इट आपने नेकेड लॉन्ग किया या कोई स्ट्रैटेजी क्रिएट करी है एंड यू लेट्स से मेक अ गेन और लॉस ऑफ 10,000 to 20,000 on that one option. So it is under 2% of the capital that is allocated toward that trade.
Right. That's a very crystal clear and a very specific answer. Thank you so much for that. Even I honestly I didn't think of it that way, but that's absolutely brilliant. So thank you. I also want to add on to this question in the sense कि how long should one be trading in equities maybe to enter FNO? So one aspect was कि कितना capital होना चाहिए, कितना experience होना चाहिए to enter FNO is another question.
So बेसिकली एफ में तो रूल बुक टोटली डिफरेंट है. ठीक है. यू हैव टू बी नॉट रिजिड, फ्लेक्सिबल होना चाहिए आपको कि यू आर एबल टू एक्सेप्ट योर मिस्टेक्स और एक्सेप्ट द मार्केट वर्डिक्ट. जो भी है मिस्टेक ज़रूरी नहीं है मिस्टेक ही करी हो. नहीं चला स्टॉक, आपका व्यू गलत हो गया, मार्केट पलट गया, बट यू शुड बी एबल टू नॉट एवरेज इट आउट कि आपने प्रॉफिट ही करना वो ट्रेड में. ठीक है. एक लेवल डिसाइड करो, उसको नीचे एग्जिट कर दिया. देन एक रिस्क पर ट्रेड का क्राइटेरिया होना चाहिए कि जैसे 2% से ज़्यादा रिस्क नहीं लेना है ऑफ कैपिटल एलोकेटेड टुवर्ड दैट ट्रेड. जैसे 10 लाख की कैपिटल पे आप एक ऑप्शन स्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट कर रहे हो तो आप 20,000 से ज़्यादा लॉस नहीं करोगे उस पर. देन हैव अ बास्केट ऑफ ट्रेड्स. ऐसा भी नहीं कि आपने 10 लाख का कैपिटल लगाया और एक ही स्ट्रक्चर में बैठे हो पूरा महीना और लेट्स से वो कुछ नहीं कर रहा है वाइल फुल मार्केट इज डूइंग एवरीथिंग. या फिर देर आर डिफरेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज बट ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ कैपिटल यू आर नॉट एबल टू पार्टिसिपेट एंड इन फोमो यू डू सम मिस्टेक. सो फोमो नहीं होना चाहिए. रूल्स बनाओ अराउंड द लॉस परसेंटेजेस. सो उस तरीके से ये टोटली डिफरेंट गेम है. वाइल इन कैश मार्केट उसका रूल बुक अलग है. उसमें आई मीन परसेंटेज फ्लक्चुएशन ज़्यादा होता है, बीटा ज़्यादा होता है कैश मार्केट का. सो सब अपना रूल देख के करना चाहिए उसमें. So
Right. Awesome.
coming to the point of years of experience या फिर time in market, so it totally is a factor of how much control you have on yourself and how much you think you are ready or how much you think that you have the knowledge to fully get into FNO or not.
Right. बिल्कुल सर. बाकी थोड़ा बहुत तो आई थिंक जब भी एंटर करो तो कुछ तो मार्केट को चढ़ावा देना ही होता है. So that's that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, next question Joseph Sela Kumar sir का है and I think ये हमने last spaces में थोड़ा सा discuss किया था. So his question
Uh,
is growth style versus value style, which will you prefer for long term? And so इसको मैं थोड़ा सा और इस question में, so one is in long term you would prefer and second is given the current market scenarios where things may go up and down, उसमें भी do you have a different answer or the answer remains same?
in our market, if you look at what has worked or what usually work is growth. सो जहाँ पे ग्रोथ होता है मोस्टली वही स्टॉक्स में पैसा ज़्यादा आता है. Then it becomes crowded also at some point in time. But usually growth works for our market. Value value will also work. Value also work, but I doubt many people are able to give that much time to their investment to play that value. For example, people were fed up of ITC not moving from 200, right? Uh, then it has moved to 300 now, but people are not holding it. I mean, it is visible from the shareholder data. So, the amount of holding retail had at 200, they don't have at 300. So basically, they were busy making memes, and when it was working, then they didn't have the stock. So playing the value part is very tricky, but playing the growth part is relatively easier. But उसमें भी we have to make sure that we don't enter into the euphoric phase जब सभी उसकी बात कर रहे हैं कि यार क्या ग्रेट कंपनी है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल the results that were announced by Bajaj Finance when the stock was at 8,000 rupees. So when it was at 8,000, everyone was talking about it. Results were great. Stock was opening up 5, 8, 10% पता नहीं कितना गया था. Then it crashed to 5,300. Now people who bought at 8,000 are the same people who sold at 5,300. And stock will go to 8,000 again, but they are not holding. They sold at 5,300. So
Right.
playing growth, playing value, थोड़ा difficult है. So one has to be ready to do it. उसका भी मतलब it's not that simple to do.
Absolutely, sir. Okay. So next question काफी interesting है. राकेश सर ने पूछा है again. How much does luck matter in trading?
Uh, luck matters in life everywhere, starting from starting from everything. So luck is a major factor, and it is not quantified, and it cannot be quantified, but it is a very big factor. It happens many times that let's say for example in some stocks, um, I mean stock can turn from your stop loss to target, can turn from target to stop loss in blink of eye. So something let's say is going up, the moment you enter it goes down. Something is going down, you short it, it starts to go up. So call it luck, call it your late entry or anything. But yes, I am a believer of luck. It plays a big role.
Right. And sir, इसी का एक और add-on I want to ask is how do you differentiate between maybe a bad stroke of luck and lack of skill? So especially in the beginning when a person is new, वो overconfidence aspect of course जो जरा सा 3 दिन ट्रेड सही चल गया तो फिर overconfidence आया था कि अरे मैंने तो मास्टर कर लिया है. And then फिर वो लगता है कि नहीं यार अभी तो ये मेरे मार्केट साथ ही नहीं दे रहा है. So how do you differentiate between कि नहीं मेरी गलती थी या फिर लक ने साथ नहीं दिया?
So इसमें तो काफ़ी सिंपल हो जाता है. मतलब you what you have to do for all successful or a failed trade is just to look at the process that you follow. So I mean let's say a trade hits a stop loss. So what you have to do is you don't have to curse yourself or blame your luck, but what you have to do is you have to check whether the entry that you took into the trade, was it a proper entry, was it a late entry, was it a wrong entry, define it, do not repeat that mistake. Then you have to understand that if the entry was right as per your process and system, then it is not necessary that 100% of the time that trading system is going to work. So that is also a factor. The main factor will always remain that you do not do a mistake while entering the trade. Then leave it to the trading, the probability of a trade to work. It is not 100% for any setup.
Right, right. Perfect, sir. ओके सर, मेरे पास काफी सारे स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस हैं। मे बी आई क्विकली रीड द स्टॉक नेम्स। अगर आप उसमें से कोई भी ट्रैक करते हो तो यू कैन स्टॉप मी।
ओके।
ओके। सो अरिहंत सुपर स्ट्रक्चर्स, प्रकाश पाटिल सर ने पूछा है। देन चंबल फर्टिलाइजर, राहुल सर ने पूछा है। नरेन सर के हैं HSCL हिमाद्री स्पेशल केमिकल लिमिटेड एडिशन। नवकार कॉर्प का शिवराम सर का है। एंड भारती एंड अदानी एंटरप्राइजेस ब्रिजेश सर का है।
ओके। सो चंबल इज इन डाउन ट्रेंड, अरंत सुपर स्ट्रक्चर, इसको देख लेता हूँ। आई हैव सीन इट बिफोर। या ये रेंज बाउंड है बट इज लुकिंग प्रॉमिसिंग। अरंत सुपर स्ट्रक्चर इज अ गुड सेटअप. Then Adani Enterprise is overstretched in short term, but I think it is not done yet. Not done yet. Far from being done. Then Bharti is a ITC, so it remains in a range. So maybe by 750, 700, 680, 660. So broadly 100 point range. Then Navkar Corp, I think, was in news lately. Yesterday only, I think there was a blog deal. So I don't recall. देखता हूँ नवकर वो नवा भारत.
नवकार।
So Navkar has made a short-term top at 90. Navkar is not bullish in short term.
ओके, कुछ एक और सर आए हैं विच आर मदरसन सुमी, लेटेंट व्यू, IEX एंड SBI कार्ड।
So latent view was a recent listing. I mean November 2021. It is trading around all-time lows. So for a reason to avoid. Then next one was
सर लेटेंट व्यू था, देन मदरसन सुमी,
yeah.
IEX।
Yeah, IEX is in a bearish trend, proper bearish trend. Only FNO stock, which is being a mid cap, has not done anything in FNO. So 140 odd was the low, and today again it came off. So I mean, I think it's expensive also relatively.
Then there was SBI card.
Yeah, SBI card is doing well, but I think last 2 दिन का action is slightly बेकार सा है. सेम वही सेटअप है उसमें, वो कल ब्रेकआउट था, आज फेल्ड ब्रेकआउट है. सो शॉर्ट टर्म में शुड कम डाउन अ बिट.
Okay. And two more stocks are Apple and Idea. Idea में specifically 5G के launch के बारे में कुछ.
Idea, don't waste your time यार.
Okay. And
Idea,
another is Apple India.
yeah, FL. Let me check. Yeah, FL also best avoided. So just as a disclaimer, I don't own any of the stock discussed, and next is consult your financial advisor before acting on.
Definitely, this entire space is just for education purposes. Please consult your financial advisor before investing. None of this is in buy or sell recommendation.
Yes.
Okay. ऑल राइट। सो एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज सर, हम लोग आइडिया का स्टॉक बाय द वे मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में बहुत रहता है। रीजन इज कि वो हम लोग जब भी कुछ टेस्टिंग करनी होती है ना ट्रिंकर ऐप में, तो एक सस्ता सा शेयर मिलता है जो कि हम लोग कॉन्स्टेंटली उसी को ही खरीद के बेच के टेस्टिंग करते हैं सारी।
कहीं जा नहीं रहा ना.
तो वही चलता रहता है, वो है। और एक जेपी पावर है जिस पे ये चलते हैं एक्सपेरिमेंट्स।
आईटीसी में भी कर सकते हैं आप ये काम.
आईटीसी महंगा पड़ जाता है सर, वो 200-200 रुपए का करने का, ट्रेड करने का लोगों का मन नहीं करता, सो हम लोग को करवाना होता है फॉलो। तो एक आइडिया खरीदने में उतना बुरा नहीं लगता, वो बस एक्यूमुलेट होता रहता है 10-10 रुपए का फ्री डिलीवरी में।
ओके.
Anyway, okay. So this is Ajay Jadhav sir. The question is, which is better weekly option or monthly option in Nifty and Bank Nifty?
So अभी जैसे there is already a week left for August expiry. So it basically टोटली एब्सोल्युटली डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ट्रेडर यू आर. आपको 2020 खेलना है, टेस्ट मैच खेलना है. सो मेरा कंफर्ट है कि आई नीड टाइम फॉर अ स्टॉक और अ व्यू टू वर्कआउट. आई नीड टाइम फॉर एडजस्टिंग दैट ट्रेड इन ऑप्शंस. सो मैं तो पिछले हफ्ते से ही सितंबर के ऑप्शंस में ट्रेड कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज द टाइम टू एक्सपायरी फॉर अगस्त सीरीज वाज अंडर 10 days. सो मैं तो 40 days टू एक्सपायरी पे आई जस्ट गो टू नेक्स्ट सीरीज. सो मेरा कंफर्ट तो गिवन टाइम टू अ स्टॉक होता है. सो आई एम ऑलरेडी ट्रेडिंग इन स्टॉक ऑप्शंस इन सितंबर एंड नॉट इवन ट्रेडिंग इन द अगस्त वन, बिकॉज इतना अच्छा नहीं आता मेरे को टेक्निकल एनालिसिस की आई कैन प्रिडिक्ट कि ये 5 दिन में ऊपर जाएगा या 5 दिन में नीचे जाएगा. आई नीड टाइम फॉर द व्यू टू प्ले आउट. तो अगर आपके अंदर वो शक्तियां हैं कि आप शॉर्टर टाइम फ्रेम में उस तरीके से प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हो, तो वीकलीज. अगर नहीं है तो मंथलीज. देन यू कैन यूज़ अ कॉम्बो बेसिकली ऑल्सो बेस्ड ऑन द व्यू दैट यू हैव ऑन अ स्टॉक की और इंडेक्स. तो आप कैलेंडरिंग भी कर सकते हो, लॉन्ग इन नेक्स्ट सीरीज ऑप्शन एंड शॉर्ट इन द शॉर्ट एक्सपायरी ऑप्शन. अब वो करने के लिए भी देर आर certain requirements that the option premium that you are selling current month should be हैविंग सम वैल्यू. ये नहीं कि आप नेक्स्ट मंथ में 20 रुपए का स्टॉक ऑप्शन खरीद रहे हो और करंट मंथ में 2 रुपए का बेच रहे हो. तो दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट वर्थ इट. सो व्हेन यू क्रिएट दैट ऑप्शन स्ट्रक्चर इन कैलेंडर, इट शुड मेक सेंस दैट यू आर एबल टू गेट टू अ रेंज दैट ओके 2 लॉन्ग किए 3 शॉर्ट किए तो एक रेंज डेवलप हो रहा है स्टॉक में विच goes with respect to your view also. So what view should you have to do a calendaring is that either the जो अभी एक्सपायरी है उसके ऑप्शंस की आईवी बढ़ी हुई है ड्यू टू सर्टेन इवेंट, लेट्स से आरबीआई पॉलिसी है या फिर फेड का पॉलिसी है या कोई एज सच एक्सपेक्टेड न्यूज़ इवेंट है जो करंट एक्सपायरी में आना है बट अगली में इम्पैक्ट नहीं होगा. तो दोज आर द केसेस वेयर यू कैन ट्राई फॉर कैलेंडरिंग. देन रिजल्ट्स आने हैं तो भी अगर रिजल्ट्स आने हैं तो आईवी ऊपर होती हैं, तब एक अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट होता है. या फिर आपका जो व्यू है वो स्टॉक पे वो ऐसा है कि स्टॉक कहीं जाएगा नहीं, रेंज बाउंड स्टॉक है, तो कैलेंडरिंग इज प्रेफर्ड. बट अगर आपका व्यू ये है कि वो फास्ट अप मूव देगा, बुलिश मूव आएगा, देन कैलेंडरिंग शुड बी अवॉइडेड. अगर सेम ऑन द डाउन साइड है कि फास्ट डाउन मूव का व्यू है तो कैलेंडरिंग शुड अगेन बी अवॉइडेड ऑन द डाउन साइड ऑल्सो. So calendaring is for heightened IV and when your view is range bound on a stock. So I prefer doing far away option strategies, not the short term. Calendaring मैं करता हूँ with the same rules that I just shared.
Right. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, sir. So again sir, questions तो हमारे पास बहुत सारे बहुत लोगों के हैं, but time limited ही होता है. So before we part, maybe if I can have some concluding remark or some final advice, some final word from you, that would be amazing.
Sure. Like discussed during the spaces also that focus should be on giving more time to market. अगर एफ में हो तो एक्सपायरी बाय एक्सपायरी टारगेट रखो, ट्राई टू लूज लेस. कैश मार्केट में हो तो मंथ ओवर मंथ एक टारगेट रखो या फिर उसको ट्राई टू डेवलप सम टूल्स और मेथड्स. चार्ट रीडिंग थोड़ा सा क्वांट फॉर्म में क्वांटिफाई करके चलो कि मोमेंटम ज़्यादा हो गया है, पीक आउट हो रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है. देर आर फ्यू वेज दैट आई लाइक टू शेयर कि कैसे आप उस चीज़ को भी क्वांटिफाई कर सकते हो. सो वन विल बी लेट्स से you are tracking, let's say, all NSE stocks. So one way to measure high momentum will be number of stocks trading above 10 DMA or 20 DMA, number of stocks trading below 10 DMA, below 20 DMA. उस तरीके से आप उसको डिवाइड कर लो. तो एक शॉर्ट टर्म में कितने स्टॉक्स हाई मोमेंटम में है उसका आइडिया लग जाएगा. नोट द नंबर डाउन एवरी डे, प्लॉट इट अगेंस्ट योर निफ्टी चार्ट, निफ्टी मिड कैप चार्ट. तो पीक और बॉटम का एक आइडिया लग जाएगा कि पीक मोमेंटम किधर है, या फिर पीक सेलिंग या फिर पीक पेसिमिज्म किधर है, तो टॉप बॉटम का आइडिया चार्ट देखने से पहले लग जाएगा कि अभी बॉटम आने वाला है, अभी टॉप आने वाला है. Then it can be done in other ways also, which are your measurement of, let's say, counting number of stocks which have high RSI. जैसे let's say number of stock having RSI above 70, एक उसका count. So let's say at the peak point, out of 2000 or 1800 NSE stocks, the peak count reaches, let's say, 500, और एट द बॉटम इट कम्स टूवर्ड लेट्स से 10. तो एक एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट हो जाएगा आपका कि जब 500 के अराउंड होगा तो मार्केट अभी टॉप बनाने वाला है, या फिर 10 के पास आ गया तो अभी ये बॉटम के पास है. तो थिंग्स लाइक दैट, डिफरेंट इंडिकेटर्स, अदर इंडिकेटर्स कैन बी यूज्ड ऑल्सो. CCI को भी यूज़ कर सकते हो आप. डिफरेंट मोमेंटम इंडिकेटर्स से एक इस तरीके का फ्रेमवर्क डेवलप कर सकते हैं जिसमें बेटर थिंग्स, बेटर जजमेंट ऑफ मार्केट कैन बी डन. सो बेसिकली यही है, एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाओ. डोंट बी फूल्ड बाय मी एंड एनीवन एल्स. देन और क्या रिमार्क है, मेजर तो यही है यार, टाइम दो, सुनो सबकी. देयर कैन बी वेरी गुड पॉइंट्स फ्रॉम इवन द पीपल यू डोंट लाइक. Then listen to news, don't act on them, listen. एक इन्वेंट्री क्रिएट होता है माइंड में अबाउट अ कंपनी की, वो क्या करती है क्या नहीं करती है, और न्यूज़ फ्लो क्या चल रहा है. पॉजिटिव न्यूज़ था तो स्टॉक ने कैसे रिएक्ट किया, पॉजिटिव न्यूज़ पे स्टॉक गिरता है तो यू विल गेट अ बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हाँ दिस इज़ हाउ मार्केट वर्क्स. अगर नेगेटिव न्यूज़ था, जैसे आज फार्मा में था कि येस्टरडे US जनरिक स्टॉक्स वर डाउन. अब आज का फार्मा के स्टॉक्स का चार्ट देखो उठा के, एवरी स्टॉक had an initial sell off, then every stock nearly hit a new day high. तो that is how market works. तो गुड न्यूज़ पे कैसे रिएक्ट किया, बैड न्यूज़ पे कैसे रिएक्ट किया. सो रिएक्शन अराउंड न्यूज़, रिएक्शन अराउंड रिजल्ट्स, रिएक्शन अराउंड सपोर्ट रेफरेंसेस, रिएक्शंस ऑफ स्टॉक अराउंड रेजिस्टेंस रेफरेंसेस. सो एक फ्रेमवर्क ऐसे ही डेवलप हो जाएगा बाय द टाइम, जितना आप टाइम देते हो मार्केट को. Then initially we should not be expecting कि market will be too rewarding या फिर market can be too rewarding. It is rewarding to those who play along. मार्केट पे अपनी नहीं चलाती, मार्केट की सुनते हैं और चलते जाते हैं. सो दैट इज अनदर मेजर फैक्टर, क्योंकि मार्केट इज ऑलवेज राइट, चाहे वो प्राइस कितना ही ऊंचा जा रहा है या प्राइस कितना ही नीचे जा रहा है, ट्रेड वही करना है हमारे को. ठीक है. सो दैट्स इट आई थिंक फ्रॉम माय साइड टुडे.
That's absolutely brilliant, sir. Thank you so much for sharing so many of your insights and so many of your gems from your experience that you have collected in so many years. I really can't thank you enough. I can just look forward to one more session with you very soon and learn more and more from you, sir.
Sure, thanks.
All right, and once again, thank you so much for to our audience as well. And I hope everybody has a very profitable day tomorrow and a very good night now. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Deepak sir. Have a really good night. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.